What's up? What's up? It's your boy Matt Knows MMA coming at you with my picks and predictions for Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy this Saturday, April 5th. I'll be covering every fight starting with the early prelims and then with the main event. Hope everybody's having a great day. Everybody love everybody. Let's get to it. Baby. Kicking off the first fight of the prelims is a women's strawweight matchup between Vanessa Demopoulos versus Talita Alankar. Demopoulos, she's a minus 105 dog versus Alankar. She's a minus 115 favorite. Vanessa Demopoulos, she's 11-6 with 1 KO, 4 subs, and 6 decisions. She's 3-2 in her last 5, coming off a first-round submission loss against Jacqueline Amorim by armbar. It was a nasty little armbar she got caught in. Before that, she was on a 2-fight winning streak against Emily Ducat and Kamako Murata. She won both of those fights by decision. So she's been in some 3-round fights, so she got some mileage on her. Man, she has really good stand-up. Her jiu-jitsu, she's got some good submissions on her resume. Man, I don't know how great her stand-up is, but I feel like her stand-up is better than Talita's. Talita Alankar, she's 5-1 with 0 KOs, 3 subs, 2 decisions. It's her third fight in the UFC, coming off a unanimous decision loss against Stephanie Luciano in August. She won her debut against Rayon Dos Santos by split decision. So she needs to get a win. I mean, she needs to get a win after that Luciano loss. She got stuffed on 9 out of 10 takedowns in that fight. She got dominated by Stephanie. She got exposed pretty much. So I mean, if Talita can't get her takedowns in this fight, it's gonna be a long night. I can see Vanessa piecing her up on the feet. Man. So with that being said, I'm gonna go with Vanessa Demopoulos by a 3rd round split decision. Put it down. Let's go. Moving on to the second fight of the prelims is a bantamweight fight between Victor Henry versus Pedro Falcoa. Victor Henry is a minus 218 favorite versus Falcoa, a plus 180 dog. Victor Henry is 24-7 with 7 KOs, 8 subs, and 9 decisions. He's 2-2-1 in his last 5, coming off a 2nd round submission loss to Charles Jourdain by guillotine choke. His last big win was against Rainy Yaya by a nasty head kick. And he needs a bounce back win after that submission loss to Charles Jourdain. But Charles Jourdain, he's a good fighter, so it's not a bad loss. I mean, all right, Victor, he's got great stand-up. He's got good takedowns. Man, he's got a great chin. He's never been knocked out. Man, I feel like the best way he can win this fight is just piecing him up with the 1-2s and just defending the takedowns, because I feel like he can outstrike Pedro in this. So, yeah. Pedro Falcoa, he's 16-4 with 6 KOs, 5 subs, and 5 decisions. It's his 2nd fight in the UFC, coming off a unanimous decision loss to Victor Hugo. He got dropped once in that fight, and he got stuffed on 12 of 13 takedowns, man. If you didn't see that fight, he got exposed. It was not a good debut for him. Man, he needs to get his takedowns in this fight. That's the only way I can see him winning, getting the takedowns, controlling Victor. But Victor, man, he's good, man. He can get up. He's good at defending takedowns. So I think it's going to be a long night for Pedro. So his 2nd fight might be another loss. So, yeah, with that being said, man, I'm going to go with Victor Henry, the favorite in this one. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Victor Henry I feel like it's going to be a little war. But I think Victor's going to piece him up enough on the feet. So I think it's going to be a unanimous decision win for Victor Henry. Put it down. Let's go. Moving on to the 3rd fight of the prelims is a women's strawweight matchup between Luna Lakabumi versus Estela Nunez. I probably butchered Lukabami, whatever her name is, but I probably butchered it. I'm sorry. Luma, she's 9-3 with 1 KO, 1 sub, and 7 decisions. She's 4-1 in her last 5. She's on a 3-fight winning streak over Denise Gomez, Elise Reed, and Bruna Brazil. Her last loss was to Lupita Godinez by unanimous decision. She's 6-2 overall in the UFC. She has a ton of experience in the UFC. She's been in the UFC since 2019, so about 6 years. Man, she has great stand-up. She's known for getting the opponents down, though, and controlling them. So I think this is a good matchup for her. I think this is the last second replacement matchup for her. And, yeah, so I think she's going to get I think this is an easy fight to bet on. I think you got to put your money on Luma, I'm guessing. So Estela Nunez, she's 6-5 with 2 KOs, 0 subs, and 4 decisions. She's 0-4 in the UFC. She's 0-4 in the UFC, man. How is she still in the UFC? She hasn't won. It's crazy. Oh, man. She's a last-second replacement, like we said, man. She has good striking. I don't know, man. I mean, she looked all right in like the lower organizations, but UFC competition, Luma Lakabumi. I've seen her fight a few times, and she's got really good striking. So I think it's gonna be a bad night for Estella. I think she's getting set up. I don't know the odds in this one, but I'm sure Luma's gonna be a huge favorite. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Luma Lakabumi by first round submission. Put it down. Let's go. Moving on to the fourth fight of the prelims is a welterweight matchup between Reese McKee versus Daniel Frunza. Reese McKee is a plus 136 dog versus Frunza, a minus 162 favorite. Reese McKee is 13-6 with 10 KOs, 3 subs, 0 decisions, 1 draw. It's his fifth fight in the UFC. He's 0-4. It's his second time actually coming back to the UFC. First time he lost to Kamzat and Alex Morano. Then he went and won 3 straight at Cage Warriors, all by TKO. So he won 3 straight by TKO, so he got his chance back in the UFC. He came back to the UFC, lost 2 straight to Angelusa and Chidi Njokuani. He got freaking outstruck by Chidi, and then he got freaking stuffed on takedowns. He got taken down 6 out of 10 times against Angelus. He's not good at defending takedowns, and when he gets taken down, he cannot get back up. That's his big downfall. So if he can't keep the fight standing, it's gonna be a long night for him in this. He's fighting Daniel Frunza. Daniel Frunza, he's 9-2 with 8 KOs and 1 decision. It's his fifth fight. He's on a 5-fight winning streak. It's his UFC debut. He's coming off a second-round TKO win on Dana White's Contender Series in September. And he's got crazy knockout power. He likes pressing people against the cage and just throwing freaking bombs at them. He's going to be trying to get Reese to get down, pretty much how Kamzat did to him. He's going to try to get him down, hold him down, beat him up with ground and pound. So, yeah, that's how I see the victory for him. So, with that being said, man, I'm going to go Daniel Frunza by second round TKO. Put it down. Let's go. Moving on to the fifth fight of the prelims is a flyweight matchup between Diana Balbita versus Dione Barbosa. Diana versus Dione. Diana, she's 15-9 with 6 KOs, 4 subs, and 5 decisions. She's 2-3 in her last 5, coming off back-to-back losses against Carolina Kowalkiewicz and Molly McCann. Most recently to Molly McCann by armbar in the first round. It was a nasty armbar. I mean, Molly, she's tough. But, I mean, Molly, she retired, so that's sad. Her last win was against Maria Oliveira in 2023 by unanimous decision. So it's been a couple years since she got a win. She has good stand-up. She has good submissions. Her armbar submissions are her go-to. That's her favorite submission. Man, she's not good when she's fighting backwards and getting pressed against the fence, which that's exactly what Dione Barbosa is known for. So I think she's getting set up in this one. I don't know the odds, but I feel like she's gonna be the underdog. So, all right, Dione Barbosa. She's 7-3 with 0 KOs, 3 subs, 4 decisions. She's the third fight in the UFC, coming off a unanimous decision loss to Miranda Maverick. Before that, she won her UFC debut against Ernesta Caricate by unanimous decision. Man, she's tough. She went 3 rounds with Miranda Maverick. Miranda Maverick's a young up-and-comer. I think she's gonna be a contender for belts here soon. So she's got really good takedowns. She's gonna be going for takedowns in this one. If she doesn't get her takedowns, it's gonna be a long night. But she's resilient with trying to get her opponents down, man. So I can see her just keep trying to get it. And yeah. With that being said, man, I'm going to go with Dione Barbosa. I think she's going to be able to get the takedowns. I don't think Diana's that great. So I'm going to go with Dione in this. So I'm going to go Dione Barbosa by unanimous decision win. Put it down. Let's go. Moving on to the co-main event of the prelims is a bantamweight matchup between Davy Grant versus Daniel Santos. Davy Grant is a plus 136 dog versus Daniel Santos, a minus 162 favorite. Davy Grant, he's 16-7 with 4 KOs, 9 subs, and 3 decisions. He's 3-2 in his last 5, coming off a unanimous decision win over Ramon Tavares in December. Man, he was winning that fight and was still pressing for it at the end. He's just still pressing for it, just making a freaking show for the fans. If you don't like Davy Grant's fights, then you don't like the UFC, man. He's a freaking fan favorite, man. He's been in the UFC since 2013, man. He's got wins over Chito Vera, Jonathan Martinez. He's beat some good names. Oh, man. He's well-rounded. He's mostly known for just standing and bang. He's a brawler. He's a freaking he's well-rounded, though. He can freaking stop takedowns and get takedowns himself if he needs to. But Daniel Santos, he's 12-2 with 6 KOs, 2 subs, and 4 decisions. It's his 4th fight in the UFC, coming off back-to-back wins against Johnny Munoz Jr. and John Castaneda. He dominated against Johnny, and man, when he fought John Castaneda, he got dropped twice in that fight and came back and won in the second round by TKO with a knee. It was such a freaking crazy comeback. If you haven't seen that fight, look it up. The highlights on that fight were epic. Oh man. With that being said, man, I think I'm gonna go with Daniel Santos. I think Daniel Santos is gonna be able to control him against the fence. I think it's gonna be a war though. I think because every fight that David Grant's in, it's a war. So I think it's gonna be a war. But I think it's gonna be fight of the night contender. So I'm gonna go Daniel Santos by split decision win. Put it down. Let's go. Moving on to the main event of the prelims is a flyweight matchup between Ode Osborne versus Luis Garul. Ode is a plus 185 dog versus Luis, a minus 225 favorite. Ode Osborne, he's 12-8 with 5 KOs, 4 subs, and 3 decisions. He's been in the UFC since 2020. He's 1-4 in his last 5, coming off 3 straight losses to Ronaldo Rodriguez, Rafael Fellow, and Asul Amabayev. His last fight, man, he was winning the first round. He dropped Ronaldo with a nasty little punch. But Ronaldo came back in the second and third and controlled him in the second and third. So, yeah. And after seeing Ronaldo's last fight, he got exposed. So, is Ode all that great? So, I don't know. He's got good striking, but he's not good at stopping takedowns. And when he gets held down, man, he's not getting back up because, I don't know, he's just not good at fighting, getting back up to his feet. But Luis Garul, he's 10-0 with 5 KOs, 1 sub, and 4 decisions. He's coming off a split decision win on Dana White's Contender Series over Nick Pinciani. So he's making his UFC debut. Oh, man, he's got crazy hands, crazy power for the flyweight division. He's knocked people out cold in smaller organizations. So if you haven't seen him fight, he's got some great highlight reels. Oh, man, I think he's going to make a statement against Ode. And I think Ode might be taking a nap in this one. So I'm going to go with Luis by second round knockout, putting the lights out. Put it down. Let's go. Kicking off the main card is a middleweight matchup between Torres Finney versus Robert Valentin. Torres Finney is a minus 250 favorite versus Robert Valentin, a plus 205 dog. Torres Finney is 10-0 with 7 KOs, 1 sub, and 2 decisions. He's coming off back-to-back appearances on Dana White's Contender Series, where he won by unanimous decision against Cameron Ralston, and most recently, a first-round TKO win over Adela Iramoni. He actually has 3 appearances on Dana White's Contender Series, but the first time he didn't get a second chance because it was boring, and Dana White said, you got to go win another one. So he had to go back to a smaller organization. He went to a smaller organization, got a crazy knockout, put the dude out cold. And yep, he got his chance back with the UFC. And yep. So he's had a journey, man. He's been on Dana White Contender Series 3 times. So he's had a journey. If you haven't seen him fight, he's freaking exciting. He's got crazy power. He can slam his opponents. He's known for picking up his opponents and slamming them. He'll probably carry the opponent across the ring in this one. So it wouldn't surprise me. He's fighting Robert Valentine. Robert Valentine is 10-4 with 3 KOs, 6 subs, and 1 decision. It's his second fight in the UFC. He's coming off of second round TKO loss to Ryan Lader. It was the Dana White. It was the Ultimate Fighter finale. I can't talk, but man, the best way to describe how Robert fights is he fights like Yuri. He fights with his hands down. He throws crazy spinning elbows, spinning kicks. He's just a wild fighter, man. He's got some good submissions. He can get submissions. He could catch Torres in like a little guillotine choke if he shoots for a takedown. That's a good way for him to win, but I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough to beat Torres. Torres is 10-0, man. I don't see him losing. I think he's gonna be 11-0 after this. So I'm gonna go Torres Finney by first round TKO. Put it down. Let's go. Moving on to the second fight of the main card is a middleweight matchup between Brad Tavares versus Gerald Meerschaert. Brad Tavares is a minus 265 favorite versus Meerschaert, a plus 215 dog. Brad Tavares, he's 20-11 with 5 KOs, 2 subs, and 13 decisions. He's 1-4 in his last 5, coming off back-to-back losses against Gregory Rodriguez and Young Ho Park. He's been in the UFC since 2010, and he's got a ton of experience. He's got 15 years of experience in the UFC. His last win was against Chris Weidman in 2023, so it's been a couple years since he's got a win. And he's got good striking. He's got good takedowns. He's got solid wrestling. He's got good scrambling. he's really known for getting the leg kicks, man. If he can establish his leg kicks and break down Gerald's leg, he's got a good chance. Gerald Mearshart, he's 37-18 with 6 KOs, 29 subs, and 2 decisions. He's 2-3 in his last 5, coming off a third round triangle choke loss to Rainer de Ritter. Sorry, I cannot pronounce that name. That was a tough one. He's been in the UFC since 2016. He's got good wins over Bruno Silva, Brian Barberena, and Edmund Shabazian. Man, he needs to get this fight to the ground, man. He needs to get that takedown and get that submission. That's Gerald's. That's always his game plan. Get the submission. So I don't see Gerald trying to strike with him. So yeah, man, it's a tough one to judge, man. Gerald, man, every time he's the dog, man, he always gets upset. I feel he's freaking made me lose so much money. With that being said, man, I'm going to go Gerald Mearshart to get that submission. I think he's going to get it in round 2. So put it down for Gerald Mearshart, second round submission. Put it down. Let's go. Moving on to the third fight of the main card is a heavyweight matchup between Kennedy Nzechukwu and Martin Buday. I probably butchered Kennedy's last name, and I'm sorry, man. That's a tough name. He's a minus 325 favorite versus Buday, a plus 260 dog. Kennedy, he's 14-5 with 10 KOs, 1 sub, and 3 decisions. He's 3-2 in his last 5, coming off back-to-back wins against Chris Barnett and Ludkaus Brzezinski, both by first round TKO. So I mean, he's on a little hot streak going. He's got a little hot streak going for him. He's got a big reach advantage in this one. He's got to keep the fight standing. I feel he can't let Martin get him against the cage and he's got to keep the fight standing, keep his distance, and just outstrike him. He's really good at striking, man. Kennedy's got some knockout power, too. He's put people away. He's knocked out people like Carlos Olberg, and he beat Ian Cutelaba, too. Both. Ian Cutelaba's on a little streak now, too. So that's a good win. Oh, man. Just his key to victory is just keeping the fight standing. So Martin Buday, he's 14-2 with 7 KOs, 2 subs, and 5 decisions. He's 5-1 in the UFC, coming off a split decision win against Andrei Arlovski in June. His last loss was to Shamil Gaziev by TKO in round 2. And before that, man, he was like 6-1 in the UFC. So, I mean, he's on a good little streak. So, man, I don't know, man. If he can get Kennedy against the fence, it's gonna be a tough fight for Kennedy. But I mean, Kennedy's got a lot of experience, man. So I'm gonna go Kennedy Nzechukwu. I probably butchered your name, and I'm sorry. I'm going to go for you to win my second round TKO. Put it down. Let's go. Moving on to the fourth fight of the main card is a bantamweight matchup between Cortavius Romius versus Lee Cho Ho. Cortavius is a plus 114 dog versus Chung Ho, a minus 135 favorite. Romius, he's 9-3 with 2 KOs, 5 subs, and 2 decisions. It's his second fight in the UFC, coming off a unanimous decision loss against Gaston Alonis in November. And his most recent win was on Dana White's Contender Series by unanimous decision against Michael Imperato. And he has good takedown offense. He's known for getting takedowns. And he's got good striking. He's got fast hands. So it should be an interesting fight. Chung Ho Lee, he's 10-1 of 5 KOs, 1 sub, and 4 decisions. It's his second fight in the UFC, coming off a split decision win over Long Exao in June last year. He's on a 4-fight winning streak. He's most recently won Dana White's Road to the UFC Season 2. So he won that show to get to the UFC. I mean, he's got good striking. He's tough. He's durable. He's never been knocked down. He's never been dropped. He's got a good chin. So, I mean, I can see this being a 3-round war, but I think Cortavius is too fast. And Cortavius, he's got really good takedowns, so I can see him maybe getting a takedown in this. So I'm going to go Cortavius by unanimous decision win. Put it down. Let's go. Moving on to the co-main event is a featherweight matchup between Pat Sabatini versus Joe Anderson Brito. Sabatini is a plus 190 dog versus Brito, a minus 230 favorite. Sabatini is 19-5 with 2 KOs, 12 subs, and 5 decisions. He's 3-2 in his last 5, coming off a first-round submission win against Jonathan Pierce. It was a nasty little rear naked choke he got in that fight. So, I mean, he's 6-2 in the UFC. He's got good wins over Damon Blackshear, Jamal Emmers. He did lose to Diego Lopez by first-round TKOs and nasty. Diego Lopez, the dog, though. So, I mean, Diego Lopez is probably going to win the belt. Volk, though. I like Volk, so Kind of hope Volk wins. He's got good stand up and get good submissions. Yeah. He's known for getting that heel hook sub. He's got a few of those on his record. All right. So with that being said, man, I don't know. Joanderson Brito, man, he's 17-4 with 8 KOs, 7 subs, 2 decisions, and 1 draw. He's coming off a split decision loss against William Gomez in September. Before that, man, he was on a 5-fight winning streak, beating people like Andre Fili, Jack Shore. He's got good wins over Diego Lopez, Jose Mariscal. Man, I could see him dominating this fight. I'm not even gonna cap. He's a savage. And he beat Diego Lopez, and Pat 17, he got dominated by Diego Lopez. So I mean, oh man, I think Joe Anderson's gonna piece him up. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna go Joe Anderson Brito by first round TKO. Put it down. Let's go. Moving on to the main event of the evening is a featherweight matchup between Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. Emmett's a plus 285 dog versus Murphy, a minus 345 favorite. Josh Emmett, he's 19-4 of 7 KOs, 2 subs, and 2 decisions. He's 3-2 in his last 5, coming off a freaking nasty TKO knockout of the year contender against Bryce Mitchell, man. Put him out cold. Made Bryce Mitchell change his whole mind. His mind's all messed up now. It's all jangled. Yeah, but man, Josh Emmett, man, he's got crazy power, man. He's beating people like Dan Ige, Calvin Kattar. He's knocked out Michael Johnson cold. You haven't seen that Michael Johnson knockout? Look it up. He's got crazy power, man. He's that one shot. Just one shot. Do not let him catch you. Yeah. He's fighting Lerone Murphy. Lerone Murphy's 15-0 with 1 draw. He has 7 KOs, 0 submissions, and 8 decisions. He's on a 7-fight win streak. Man, he had 1 draw in his UFC debut, or it would be 8. I mean, oh man, he's got good hands, man. He's got really good hands. But he has to keep his distance against Josh. Josh has got that power, man. But Lerone, man, he's gone to wars, man. He's got 5-round experience. Went 5 rounds with Edson Barbosa, it was a nasty war there. But, I mean, Lerone, he's tough, man. He's tough. Can he take Josh Emmett's punch? I don't know. It's gonna be real interesting. Man. With that being said, man, I'm gonna go with Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett by knockout. I can see him catching him. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Josh Emmett, 2nd round knockout. Put it down. Let's go. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Everybody love everybody. I will see y'all on the next one. Let's go.